I know it's kind of a weird time, but I was just wondering what is going to happen to us on Monday when we're all together again. I mean, I consider you guys my friends. I'm not wrong, am I? No.
It's amazing that after 40 years, a simple movie set in a school library is still resonating with audiences today. The Breakfast Club is beyond an 80s classic. It's iconic.
A brain, a beauty, a jock, a rebel, and a recluse.
Can't believe this is really happening to me.
The Breakfast Club.
John Hughes had a unique way of writing teens that didn't talk down to them. While promoting the movie in 1985, he told the Chicago Tribune, quote, "Many filmmakers portray teenagers as immoral and ignorant, with pursuits that are pretty base, but I haven't found that to be the case. I listen to kids, I respect them. Some of them are as bright as any of the adults I've met."
What do you care what I think anyway?
The Breakfast Club really hits people on an emotional and nostalgic level. The movie's themes are universal and completely relatable. Almost everyone sees a bit of themselves in one of the characters.
My God, are we gonna be like our parents?
Not me.
In April 2025, the cast reunited for a 40th anniversary panel discussion at the Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo. All the main principals were there: Molly Ringwald, Judd Nelson, Anthony Michael Hall, Ali Sheedy, and EMILIO Estevez, who doesn't normally do conventions or reunions. In fact, it was the first time they had all been in the same room since, well, the 1980s.
I feel really very emotional and moved to have us all together. This is the first time that EMILIO has joined us.
Molly Ringwald, Ali Sheedy, Judd Nelson, Michael Hall, all back together. EMILIO Estevez could not be with us, unfortunately. He's on location filming in Toronto. We're here 25 years from now for the 50th anniversary. What are we saying about Breakfast?
Where's EMILIO?
Yeah. EMILIO will be the only one that will be there.
Right, EMILIO will show up.
This is my side of the story.
We'll hobble in with our canes.
We don't have to use the cardboard cutout anymore, so because he's here. So yeah, I feel really moved that we're all together.
You know, I skipped all of my high school reunions, so this just was something that finally I felt I needed to do for myself. Obviously, the 40th anniversary, and it just felt like it was time. I heard this. Somebody told me that Molly said, "Well, does EMILIO just not like us?" I thought, and that broke my heart. I thought, no, of course, I love all of them, and that just made sense. So here I am.
In 2024, fellow John Hughes alumnus Andrew McCarthy released a documentary about the Brat Pack. I did a whole video about it on this channel. It focuses on an infamous article that lumped stars of the Breakfast Club and St. Elmo's Fire together as some kind of spoiled young Hollywood faction. In a fascinating interview, Estevez explains how that public perception of him derailed his career.
I had had some experience and had done some press, but nothing to the extent of like a real sort of a profile, which made me uncomfortable. It was naive of me to think that this journalist would in fact be my friend. I think the most upsetting about it is because I had already seen a different path for myself, and I felt derailed.
The Brat Pack label is such a sore subject that Molly Ringwald and Judd Nelson both respectfully declined to be a part of the documentary, although Nelson does finally return Andrew McCarthy's call.
Hello? Judd?
That's what makes this reunion so cool. Bygones are bygones, and now all of them are fully embracing the Breakfast Club. The panel's moderator is Josh Horowitz. He begins by asking them if there were any real-life cliques on the set.
We work 6 days a week, so you have one night off Saturday night. EMILIO and I and Ali are old enough to legally drink. Molly and Michael are not. Molly and Michael also have to log hours in school with a tutor during the day while making the movie. So there's one night to go out for 3 people. Ali stays in her room mostly. I have no idea what goes on in there. So on Saturday night, Emilio and I would drive into Chicago from...
Here it comes.
This is why Emilio wasn't showing up all these years. He didn't want these stories out there.
From Des Plaines, we drive into Chicago. It's 1983, 84. We cannot find a single place on Division or Rush streets that will let in a guy wearing sneakers and a guy wearing motorcycle boots. We find one place called the Jazz Bulls, which no longer exists anymore, and if any of you have been there or know any of those people involved, it's the greatest place in the world. They let us in, they didn't care, and so we enjoyed Chicago, the city, for 3 hours once a week.
And I barely got a GED. Thank you, everybody.
That kind of sounds like the origin story of the Brat Pack, which would later move to the Los Angeles club scene. There's a funny moment after this when they're asked about typecasting, and Molly Ringwald gives a short, succinct answer.
Were you typecast at all based on any of these parts in the years after? Did you find that you were defined by...
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You are a bitch! Why? Because I'm telling the truth? That makes me a bitch?
As for the memorable dialogue in The Breakfast Club, Molly Ringwald says it was a mix of brilliant writing and improvisation.
The script was so good to begin with.
Yeah.
You know, it was really, truly a joy to say those lines. And I always felt like we would usually do it as written, and then we would kind of do whatever we wanted. And he loved it. I mean, there's so much of the movie that's improvised.
Anthony Michael Hall elaborates on that collaborative spirit on the set. At one point, he directly acknowledges family members of John Hughes who are in the audience.
Truly, he was so right there with us throughout the whole process. Not to get too serious, but like he was just the greatest. He was the best, and it was always an ongoing collaboration with each of us. And we would always have these sidebars, like right around camera. The other thing he did, he would carve out time for us just to sit and rehearse and talk about the work, which was something we later learned wouldn't really happen much. He was just right there, so present with you, and he, you know, he just had a vibe about everything, even his music. I remember going to your house, John, and visiting you on the weekends with your brother and your mom. I could get verklempt now. Hold on a second, guys. And I'd go into a room, and John had a whole room, like floor-to-ceiling records. It looked like a record store. And then by the window, in your beautiful home you grew up in, was his desktop, you know? And so that idea of music and the integration of music and how he wove all that into, that was all him, you know? And he knew music before we did. And even the whole 80s, you know, British craze and all that stuff that led to MTV, I mean, John was on it.
Over the years, there's been speculation that originally the movie was much longer and then had to be cut down to a manageable running time. Apparently, that was for the best.
I believe Emilio and I saw an uncut compilation of all Dee Allen, the whole film, everything we shot in sequence. No music, no color timing, no editing, just it all slapped together. It was like over 4 hours long. It was like being in detention. The movie ends, I'm sitting next to Emilio, and he looks over to me and he goes, "It's unreleasable." And I go, they're gonna cut it and put music in it, right? And he goes, "No." And I go, "Really?" And he goes, "You're an idiot."
They go on to discuss the memorable ending where Judd Nelson throws his fist in the air and how it's open for interpretation.
Can you tell us a little bit about how that came to be?
Did you have a choreographer for that fist?
Thank you, Anthony.
What?
No, I just want to say one thing. The thing that you mentioned earlier, like how he left it to the audience. For example, the joke. For 40 years, people have asked me, what's the punchline to Judd's joke when he's in the ceiling, right?
A naked blonde walks into a bar with a poodle under one arm and a 2-foot salami under the other.
Or even the idea about how it ends. Like, he left that up to us as the audience, right? Like, what did you think? How do you think? Do you think they will be friends? Do you think they'll dog each other when they get back to school or what have you? But so that was just kind of echoing what you said.
It's a gesture that means victory. Yeah. But John leaves it open to what is victorious? What's the win? It's clearly not getting the diamond earring from the popular girl. The movie's too thick for that. So it's something else.
The panel eventually turns into an audience Q&A, with the obligatory fans who seem to want attention on themselves more than anything else.
You guys, your characters are iconic for so many of us. I'm a millennial. I had your poster in my college dorm room, and my cousin stole it because it came out when she was younger. And, well, it's fine. I still love you guys.
I was born in the 2000s, but I'm a big fan of John's work. He's one of my all-time favorite filmmakers, so much so I was inspired to make an 80s short film for my college thesis. It's on YouTube. It's called There Goes Stacy. You can go watch it. Shameless plug. But anyways.
I'm here to talk about my mom. She's a child of the 80s, and when I told her that you guys were going to be here, she lost her mind. She was very excited. Her name is Suzanne, and she graduated the year this movie came out. And so I wanted to ask if there was anything that you could say to her that would mean the world to me and the universe to her.
Your son is very brave.
Thank you.
But there are some fun questions that get through, such as what's their favorite line from the movie.
I love when you get old, your heart dies. Allison's line. I think that was really moving and also so beautifully expressed by Allie.
When you grow up, your heart dies.
Who cares?
I care.
And speaking of Ally Sheedy, another fan brings up the growing consensus that her makeover in the movie from outcast to girly girl was actually a downgrade. The cast agrees.
I just want to say I'm not responsible for the makeover, and I was really not happy
I'm looking at you, Molly Ringwald.
with it. I thought that it would have been better just to strip off all of the makeup and just have Allie's face just fresh scrubbed because it's so beautiful. I didn't like the way that they did her hair at the end. I was not responsible.
You know, those people online don't understand that it's explained in the scene. Why are you doing this? Because you're letting me.
That's
That's
great line.
why.
Yeah.
Now, the actress doesn't always win their battles with the director. The actor doesn't as well. Some battles you fight and you can be right and still not win.
Another interesting part of the discussion is when Molly Ringwald talks about showing The Breakfast Club to her kids.
It's a wild experience.
What is it like?
I watched the first one with my now 21-year-old daughter when she was a little too young to watch it, but it was pretty amazing. We ended up doing a piece about it for This American Life.
This is the first time that you saw the film as a parent.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see it differently?
Absolutely. I really did. I really kind of felt for the parents.
For people who haven't seen The Breakfast Club, a lot of it is about the kids being disappointed in the parents.
Yeah. And I think that when it was pointed out to me that that the movie just talks about how all parents suck, then I thought in my mind, well, actually that might be kind of good because then she can see that she doesn't have parents like that, and then she can, appreciate us. And
but that can go another way.
yeah, that was my focus, I guess.
So is there anything else that you got out of the movie that you
I have better parents than them.
You're just saying that to make me feel better. Come on.
I mean, it was bizarre how she just said the thing that I hoped she would get out of it. She knows. I mean, she can intuit that.
And then I watched the movie recently with my 15-year-olds, a little more age appropriate. And I have to say that they didn't pick up their phones once, which to me was a win.
When asked if The Breakfast Club could be made today, she says no because it's very much of its time.
It's very white, this movie. You don't see a lot of different ethnicities. We don't talk about gender, none of that. And I feel like that really doesn't represent our world today. So I would like to see movies that are inspired by The Breakfast Club, but take it in a different direction.
According to the always incendiary Daily Mail, some fans were enraged by her opinion. One ex-user wrote, "Yet another one of my favorite movies destroyed forever by a racial essentialism I will never understand, nor do I ever want to."
I hate you.
Yeah? Good.
I'm not sure that Molly Ringwald was trying to be that controversial. It's true that the movie is a time capsule of a very specific place in the Midwest in the mid-1980s, and that's okay. It's the universal values that will always keep it relevant.
Very nice.
And by now, it's a certified classic that's part of the National Film Registry. Even a once reluctant Emilio Estevez is openly proud of it.
It's interesting for young actors when you get cast in something like The Breakfast Club. It's a job that you got, right? It's somebody said yes after there were 200 or 1,000 no's. And you never know what that movie is going to turn out to be, if it's going to even be releasable. So the fact that we've all ended up in this film and we have this on our resume is I mean, actors would, obviously we all have things on our resume we're not proud of, but this is one of those movies that is just, it just stands the test of time. It's generationally, it's a crossover film. And how lucky we are to have at least one. Many of us have more than just one on our resumes. It's an extraordinary thing, but it's never by design. It's always by accident. And I think that's something that people miss out on. Well, when you chose that movie, no, that the director chose us. We were lucky enough to be at the right place at the right time.
Not only did Estevez break the seal for doing a Breakfast Club reunion, but he's even thinking about doing a sequel to St. Elmo's Fire.
Sony Pictures, they're fast-tracking it. They've hired Stuart Blumberg, who wrote The Kids Are All Right, a frequent collaborator with Lisa Cholodenko,
yes,
who directed Alley and High Art.
Right.
So Stuart's writing the screenplay. We'll see what happens. I know Rob is keen on it. He's very quick to talk about it. Yeah, every time he gets on a red carpet, Rob talks about.
I think Denise said that she's
talked
down
about
for it. Yeah.
We're talking about it now, but it will really depend on the script. But I know the studio's keen on it.
Crazy.
So, I know. We've talked about the storyline. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's very big chili, which is not, would probably not be a surprise to anyone.
Yeah.
But I think it's. Listen, we'll see.
So stay tuned for St. Elmo's Fire Part 2. That's it for this video. What did you think of the Breakfast Club reunion? Let us know in the comments. As always, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.
Finish this sentence. I'm most thankful for the Breakfast Club for
John Hughes.
That seems like a good place to leave it.